The purpose of recording this video is to share how we build a basic media plan. Whenever a new client or a new prospect is interested in working with us, it's important to plan their or at least get a high level visibility of what kind of media spends would need to be done, what kind of leads or clicks can be generated to their campaign online, and what kind of ROI in terms of inquiries and sales can be planned beforehand, right? So the purpose of recording this video is to give you a good visibility on this aspect of digital marketing. So I'll be covering three main aspects right now. One is how we get our numbers, how we get the traffic data and the click data and the cost data from both Google ads and Facebook ads. Number two, how we build this into a simple and easy to understand media plan for sharing with a prospect who probably has little to medium sized awareness. And number three, how to extend that media plan into a business plan, right? Or at least a high level business plan, so that our clients can not only get an estimation of the spend that they would need to do, but they can also get an estimation of the ROI that they should plan for, right? Three very critical components. So before I share the actual tactics, I would like to share the outcome. What is the outcome that we are trying to build, right? So this over here is a sample media plan that we created, I think last year. Yeah. So this is not even very detailed. What this media plan is sharing is just some high level numbers and high level spends, right? So depending on how much time you have and what kind of information the client is requiring, you can really use your own judgment and creativity to build these plans. This plan right here is sharing for the platform LinkedIn. In a span of 1 month, what all campaigns can be run. So we can do a lead gen campaign, we can do branding and awareness, we can do messaging ads, right? So different campaign types on the same network. What is the bidding model? So how is this platform going to be charging the advertiser, right? That is something. So we've covered. So lead gen, it's generally CPC, branding and message ads are CPM. Now, these numbers, the estimated impressions, clicks, these are numbers which are given by the platform itself for the budgets that we put in and the category that we choose, the targeting methodology that we choose. The platform throws back what estimated impressions and clicks we can expect from the money that we are spending. So we plug in those numbers over here. The estimated leads is just a percentage conversion on the basis of industry standards, right? Which can vary between 1% to 5% for a starting account, right? Generally, we consider this as 5% when we're talking about just landing pages, and when we're talking about promoting websites, we dial this down to 1% of the conversion rate, right? So in this scenario, I think I've taken this as 2%. Sorry, I'll have to calculate the numbers. Yeah. For branding and message ads, it's very tough to estimate the lead gen because it's more of an awareness building activity. So for branding and awareness, we talk purely on impressions. What are the kind of eyeballs and reach that we can generate through the campaign? Lead gen, we talk about clicks and leads, right? These are the two primary types of campaigns that we would be running. So this is a very high level kind of a media plan. So now what I'll do is I'll share a slightly more detailed media plan. So this is an example of a detailed media plan. I'll just walk you through it. So what we've done is we've described our strategy, the campaign strategy, in a few simple lines. We've divided the strategy into broad platforms. One is the social media marketing aspect of it, and the other is the search marketing aspect of it. These are two extremely broad pillars of paid media advertising. Why I have bifurcated them into two is because there might be some projects in which a social media marketing or a social media advertising strategy will make more sense. For example, e-commerce, new brands or highly visual brands. or brands which have a very millennial kind of a approach where the search traffic might not be there. So for such projects, we generally start their campaigns on social media. The second type of audience is a search audience. These are generally for organizations who have high search volumes. So let's say if somebody wants to promote a school, somebody wants to promote MBA programs, somebody wants to talk about selling homes, properties. So products or services which are which have a high need, and where users are already searching for that product or service in high volumes. Those are client accounts, or those are projects where we make heavy use of search advertising, right? Because the audience is already there. Between the two of these platforms, generally what we've seen is search marketing leads to more purchase intent audiences because they're already searching for that product or service, right? Whereas social media marketing leads to more awareness driven, or top of the funnel audiences. They've recently been exposed to this new brand. It will take multiple rounds of advertising through remarketing campaign before we get a high number of conversions, right? So we bifurcated these two platforms. Then we talk about target audiences in the case of sorry. So actually, first we build the target audiences. What are the different personas, or what are the different target audiences which are relevant for the client we are working with, right? It is extremely important to distill them down, because once we have a clear understanding of our target audience, then we'll be able to actually estimate what is it going to cost me to reach this target audience on social and on search, right? It is only by estimating my target audience I'll be able to go to the next stage of figuring out those exact audiences within Facebook's platform and within Google's platform, right? So this is again a process where we take a lot of inputs from the client, and we do our own research, come up with our own ideas of who all the potential target audiences could be. So for example, in this case, we are talking about a brand called College Board, which wants to conduct exams, competitive exams for high school kids, right? So the client can come and tell us that, we want to target parents, business owners who are parents, homemaker mothers, and tuition teachers, right? The client might come and tell us this. We might go to the client and tell them, okay, these are good audiences we can start with, but we can also target school teachers, principals. We can target tier 1 cities across India, tier 2 cities across India, and we can target students who are talking about colleges after 12th, or searching for competitive exams, university admissions, or studying abroad in the US, right? So we've, through our research and market knowledge or secondary research, we've given more options for potential target audiences which the client can reach out to, right? Once we have done that, and again we'll have to use our own judgment how in depth we want to go over here. What we start doing is we start searching for these audiences on Google and Facebook's platform. So what Google allows us to do is Google gives us data of exact keywords which potential customers for that particular brand might be searching for, and what their average monthly searches look like, right? So for example, in this case, one of the keywords that was relevant was SAT exam, or SAT exam preparation, SAT registration, scholastic aptitude test, and so on and so forth, right? So we did this keyword research, and we plotted them in a simple sheet just to kind of estimate the overall search volume across multiple keywords. So over here we see that the overall search volume is somewhere between, yeah, it's about 55,000 searches per month all over India, right? We can also see search volumes across multiple different months. They might vary, but we're talking about averages here. Now, if I talk about 55,000 searches, yes. So over here, what I've done is I've collated all the searches. These are estimated targetable searches, like total volume of searches which I can potentially target, right? From my from the keywords that I've kind of researched, right? Now, it's not possible that I will be able to get all the clicks, right? So we define a metric called click-through ratio. So out of the total volume of searches, how many clicks can I estimate, right? So based on some, again, industry metrics and metrics given by Google, generally we assume on Google the CTR to be somewhere around 5%. For very niche and targeted keywords, the CTR can also cross 10%, 10 to 12%. We are able to estimate size of clicks. So over here, sorry, the estimated number of clicks, people landing on our website from the total number of search volumes which are happening, right? So 55,000 of, we've estimated here 12.9%, we can get about 7,000 clicks, right? This is a number which Google again gives us. So I haven't put that number in my keyword list over here. But again, this is an average cost per click which Google gives us for these particular keywords. I estimate the cost per click, and from this I'm able to estimate my ad spend. So total number of clicks into total average CPC gives me an estimated ad spend. So now I can go and tell the client that if I am targeting 7,000 clicks, I will have to spend about 1,40,000 on Google search, right? Or vice versa. That if I spend about 1,40,000 on Google search, I can get 7,000 clicks or 7,000 users to click on my ad and see my offer, right? So this is the first part of the story. The other figures, other rows in this plan are just other channels from where we can get more traffic. So Google search is one channel, Google display is another channel, YouTube is another channel. Similarly for Facebook, these are multiple other channels. So we get our information from here, and we build a comprehensive plan where we estimate that, okay, from Google ads, I can, if I spend about 4.5 lakh, I can get 28,000 clicks. And on Facebook ads, if I spend about 3 lakh rupees, I can get about 1,55,000 clicks. Essentially, that's because the cost per click on Facebook is way lesser than cost per click on Google, right? This is a high level plan for the at least the clicks and impressions side of the story. This plan is accompanied by our keyword research, and in the case of Google display, our sample display placements. So what kind of mobile apps, what kind of categories, websites, YouTube channels can my ad be seen on, right? We do some basic research of that as well and put it in the media plan, right? So this is one aspect of the story. Now, taking this one step forward, how do we build the business case for this? So in this particular example, I don't have the business case for College Board, but I'll share it for another client. Basically, this particular client is into events. So this part of the story I've just covered, right? Where we're talking about our advertising spend, estimated reach, our advertising budget, monthly leads that we can expect from Facebook, and our estimated cost per lead, right? So over here, just missed out one point, that we generally again estimate based on industry standards how many leads can be generated from the number of clicks which we are promising, right? So that industry standard is again between 1 to 5%. Either we rely on our own historic campaigns, on clients' historic campaigns, or on industry standards to come to this conversion rate, right? So once we figure out what our cost per lead is and how many expected leads that we can generate from whatever media plan that we've arrived at, we then start qualifying the funnel and start distilling it down to practical scenarios. So here's how this part of the story works. When we have come to the total number of inquiries that we'll generate, it is quite obvious that not all of these inquiries will be of use to us, right? So we take extremely conservative numbers and we start filtering out based on our own experience of how to arrive at a sales number or a revenue number. So we estimate, in this particular case, we've estimated that out of the total number of new inquiries, qualified inquiries are 20%. So we are assuming that out of 6,000 leads which were generated, just 1,200 leads will be of use to us, right? In this particular case, why we are doing this is because the ticket size of the product, the first sale is relatively high. We are selling a high ticket item. So that's why in this case, we've estimated that 20% of the inquiries will be of use to us, right? Now, again, on top of this, we are again putting a very, very conservative number and saying that from just the 20% of the inquiries that are generated, if even 10% of those inquiries materialize into sales, then we've arrived at our revenue from first time customers based on the product price that we are offering, or the average cost of the product, right? Now, two other aspects from which business is generated in a practical situation. One is repeat business. So we can safely assume that there will be a certain percentage of clients who would be ordering again, or who would refer their friends or clients to us, assuming that our product or service is of reasonably good value, right? So here again, we are just assuming over a lifetime of any new customer which is acquired, he just orders once again. He's not ordering just once. Let's say after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, he ends up buying once again from us, right? So we are assuming 20% of repeat customers coming in from this part of the funnel. So we are assuming that $24,000 is generated from these repeat customers. So that adds to our further revenue. We haven't added here referral customers in this particular case, but that is another aspect that we can add to this funnel, because again, from a practical point of view, if I'm offering something of decent value, I can get word of mouth to kick in. But in our situation, we are not depending on word of mouth, right? We are depending solely and wholly on the marketing engine and the marketing system that we are building. Word of mouth is just a happy secondary outcome from this, right? So we estimated our repeat orders as well. So and then what we also plug in is a certain management fees, agency fee. So in this particular case, I've just put in 12% of the media spend as my agency fee. So ultimately, these are the two numbers that I can come down to. In a quarter, what am I spending? And in a quarter, what is my projected revenue, right? So this is essentially how we are able to come to a very, very number driven, data driven and predictable revenue model, not just an advertising model, but a comprehensive revenue model based on which we can set up our campaigns and build milestones, right? So I'll stop this video over here, and I'll take another session after this to explain how we can come out with such numbers from Google and Facebook's backend.